Hey Stinks, thank you so much for joining us first of all. But before you sit with us at the wet bench, we just wanted to say that this show is intended for an adult audience. Although it's a light-hearted and relaxed show, it contains very strong language, strong sex references, and will occasionally cover some very sensitive topics. Please always check the episode descriptions for detailed content warnings and time codes for those sections if you wish to skip them, so you can enjoy your time with us in a way that's best for you. Enjoy! Yeah, fuck you. Said that. Me and my dad said that one. It was like, fuck. I walked upstairs and I went, fuck me. And he went, fuck me? Fuck you. And I went, yeah, fuck you. God, that was a day. Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Wet Bench with Owen. and Bret. So, thank you once again for sitting your moist, damp ass on a fucking wet bench. Keep coming back for more. Kind of living for it, not gonna lie.
Okay, so just to recap so far, things that we've covered. 1.
Emma Chamberlain.
Emma Chamberlain. Joanna Celia. Antonio Gaza, the British student loan system.
His hobbies, his job, and his university.
My hobby, my job, my university, just to make me easier to dox. And, I mean, you farted once.
I did, and plenty of times outside of recording.
So...
Just for you.
I'd say it's gone successfully. I would call this episode 1, part 3.
That was such a Barney burp.
That was a Barney burp.
That was fucking Simpsons right
that
there.
That was a Barney burp.
Damn, dude. Homer. No, that was a terrible impression.
Terrible impression? Impression of who?
The Ghost of Christmas Past. Homie.
So, the first episode, we broadly covered what podcasts are. I think. I haven't listened to it. I'm sure that right now it's titled What Our Podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it will be called.
What Our Podcast.
And then the second one was What Our Podcast, part 2.
Bret edition. Bret's version. We're not Swifties.
Bret's version.
That was so aggressive. I'm so sorry, Swifties.
This is part 3 about you.
My edition.
So the last episode was mostly you introducing me.
Yeah.
So this has to be me introducing you.
Oh wait, before we do that. Hold on.
What are you doing? God, that was so... What are you doing? Owen!
Everything's going wrong. Proceed.
Does it look different?
I actually don't know.
Because I don't think it does.
I felt like there was so much of I felt like there was so much of this corner. And to be fair, if I sat up straight, I think we got it. Right.
Okay, so this is Owen.
Hi.
And that was his introduction. That was enough.
Moving on.
Owen is 21 years old.
I am.
He is an Aquarius.
February.
We should do an episode where we put all of our details into co-chart? Co-sign?
Co-star.
And then, because I
already have one.
Well, I made it. I didn't read it. And then I promptly got rid of it. Because I realised that boy wasn't worth talking to.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Was it before me?
It was way before you.
Oh, I swear I forced you to get it again.
You did force me to get it again, but for you it was worth it. I did still delete it, though. But I decided that this boy was worth it because you weren't taking it seriously.
No, I just thought it was fun.
It's just fun, and it is fun. As long as it stays fun.
Yeah.
Like, you can't use it to, you know,
justify
this is
arson.
this is where the moon is today, so it's not a big deal when I did that crime. Like, you can't do that.
Saturn peeks its head around the corner and just hits you over the head, hits you over the head, hits you over the head, and says, "Wake up! It's time to get real about your life and sort out who you really are. Wake up."
Okay.
I'll be the first to say I'm sorry. Correct.
So, one thing that you need to know about Owen is that he's a major Ariana Grande fan. Ariana.
Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship with Ariana Grande's music? I would describe it as spiritual, sexual, physical, mental. And what I will say is, until I started talking to you about it, because I'm quite snooty about my music.
Yes.
I'm not
anymore.
I'm quite picky about what I listen to.
He's the nicer definition of someone who goes, "Oh, enter band. You probably wouldn't know them. They're pretty underground."
I'm the nicest version of that person because I'm not a prick about it.
Yeah.
But there's no harm in acknowledging that
nobody knows who the fuck
that
they
no
are.
one knows who the fuck you're talking about. I've got the self-awareness that most of those people don't.
Yeah.
I'm like Needle Drop if he calmed down. Do you know who Needle Drop is?
No, bitch.
Anthony Fantano.
I've heard that name.
He's like the music reviewer of YouTube. He's
Bret Rivera.
I have a minor crush on him.
Bret Rivera.
No.
Oh my god.
The Needle Drop. No, I have a crush on Antonio. No, Antonio. Anthony Fantano.
Oh my god.
I think it's mostly because he's bald.
You can tell we're getting a bit tired now.
And I also, he posted a photo of him in shorts once, and he has really nice thighs. So I thought about that. Anyway, I'm a nicer version of him. But how would you describe your relationship with Ariana Grande? Go.
Oh my god. So I've always listened to her. I've always had her on in the background without even realizing it. And then obviously the Manchester bombing happened. And she released No Tears Left to Cry. And I think it was from that moment on, I was like, this is such a magical song. Like, I am obsessed with it. Some people may not agree with me.
That's the song.
That's my magnum opus.
That's the song.
Like, after that, I spoke to this guy called Dylan, Dillon. Why have you got your name spelled like that? And I thought his name was Dillian for the longest time until he turned around and he was like, why'd you keep calling me Dillian? And I was like, is that not your name? And he was like, no, it's Dylan. I listened to the Sweetener album and I was like, this fucking slaps. Like, this is really good.
What do you think about when people say that they tend to think that that's one of her weakest albums?
Can I be completely honest and vulnerable?
I'd love you to.
I couldn't give less of a fuck.
That's fair.
I'm like, I don't care what your most liked or most hated album is. I just really like her music. And one thing I've never been a fan of is joining communities. I could not be a communist. I just like things for what they are, and I like them in my own way. And then when other people's opinions start getting in, like Heartstopper, for example, I liked the books before it became a Netflix series because my friend.
You actually did though for like a long time.
I did, and Megan.
Like, you're not just one of those people that are saying it. Like, you legitimately did. Like them for a long time.
And Megan.
I did not.
Hi, Megan.
I had no idea it existed.
She introduced me to it because obviously she was a fan even longer than me. She was there for book one and has them signed and then sold them. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she's like, I don't need them anymore. And I love her for that. But I saw the Community before that and it was so sweet and so wholesome. And then the Netflix show came out, and then there's
Which, by the way, I do like the Netflix show.
It is a good show. It's a nice show.
It's a nice show.
I'm not gonna say it's like a phenomenal, out there, outstanding thing, but like
no, it's not.
What it's meant to do, it achieves it, and I think it is such just. I don't say it's beautiful to many things, but it's such a beautiful show.
Well, it's kind of similar. It's kind of in the same boat as my love-hate relationship with Love, Simon. So I think that Love, Simon, obviously it didn't reinvent the wheel,
No.
but it was never trying to. It was trying to be a little stereotypical teen movie, but gay.
Which we don't have many of.
Which to be fair, if I had that when I was 11, 12, things probably would have
Game
been
changer.
very different. So I'm happy that that movie exists for those people now, because it tends to be people our age getting mad that it's not doing everything that it could do. And I'm like, well, it doesn't need to do that, because it's not actually really made for you. But like when I watched it, I have slightly higher media literacy than it seems most people on Twitter do, and
he's on Letterboxd. He's like so up there.
I'm so up there, but I was watching it and I was like, well, this is like, you need to take it as what it's trying to be before you try and fit it into whatever you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And things like Heartstopper also fall into that. Like, does it kind of veer beyond any regular teen drama? No, not really. Not like quality wise. But what I will say,
gay people are always background characters in them.
Gay people tend to, as you say, always be the background characters. So I think that Heartstopper is, again, for those younger people that are just finding out about what queer means, there's a lot of examples of varied queerness in that show. Like, there's asexuality, there's obviously gay people front and center.
Trans women, trans men.
Women. What's the trans girl's name? Is it Ellie? Elle. She's gorgeous.
She is fucking beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Ridiculously gorgeous. And like they cover things, but be it not in a non-traditional way, it is still traditional. But they're still covering things that haven't really been covered. And it's on Netflix, which is in everyone's living room still. Well, a decreasing number of people's
for how
living rooms.
Big it got, that was lovely.
It was.
And, I mean, to be fair, obviously some people are going to have opinions about it, but then that kind of comes back to what I was saying of, that's why I don't really like the community part of it. Like, I'll just keep it to myself and I'll have a good time.
The fans are almost the worst part of everything.
They are. Fucking
Dead
Monster
by
High,
Daylight.
for example. Do you know what? Fuck Monster High. Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight is the worst.
The community.
The community around Dead by Daylight.
I can't. I actually
penalty.
can't. They're rotten. Rotten, horrible people. Like, why are you telling someone to kill someone? No, to kill themselves. Over getting, like, face camped. And there's so many different variations of what people's definitions are of it. It's like, grow up. It is a game. The moment I started getting frustrated with it, do you know what I did? I deleted it because I got sick of it. Simple. Play something else. Anyways, yeah. That was Heartstopper when other accounts came out and it was like, oh, Nick and Charlie, blah, blah, blah. And then you'd have like 40-year-old gay men being like, I'm looking for my Nick Nelson. You're 40.
Weird. That's weird. Especially considering when the show first came out, Mr. Man who played Nick Nelson, I cannot remember his name.
Kit Connor.
The way people were speaking about that poor fucking freshly 18 boy
also
was weird.
No, there's two lines to it. There's either they get way too sexualized,
yeah,
or he's a small bean and we have to protect him at all costs.
And they're both terrible.
Like, don't infantilize and insexualize him.
No, it's weird.
Fucking stop.
And also that's not even getting into the fact that he was basically forced to come out.
When the entire fucking show...
It's terrible.
And his character was like, I'm not ready to come out yet. I'm happy to embrace myself with you, but I'm not ready to come to terms with it with the world yet.
Which is fine. His character is like 15, 16.
Yes. And then to have
Everyone
the
calm
actual
down.
actor and everyone be like, why are you a gay man? Like a straight man playing a gay character. And then he had to come out and say, well, I'm not straight. And I think...
And also, in season 2, it does go a little bit more in depth. And Nick is actually bisexual. So he's like... Because obviously there was a big hubbub for a while about straight people playing gay characters. And I have complicated feelings about it.
Same.
I have very complicated feelings about it because I understand where people are coming from. I think that...
But also people are acting.
If there was a context... If the film and television industry worked in a way that was morally correct, there would be equal opportunities for everyone of all walks of life and of all, races, ethnicities, and sexualities, gender, etc., etc. Like there would be spaces and equal opportunities for everyone. In my dream world, you have gay people also playing straight characters.
Yeah.
Like if you like it kind of comes down to what
How I Met Your Mother.
Hunter Schafer did the other day
Oh yeah.
when she was kind of I haven't actually read the interview that she said this in, so I am paraphrasing, but she basically said along the lines of, I don't want all of the roles that I play to be about trans stories, because it would be a much bigger deal for her to play just a character in a story, which I 100% agree with.
Hunger Games.
And everyone got mad about her about that, but mind you, we're talking about Twitter, so
We're talking about trans people, which everyone seems to have an opinion on.
yeah,
It's not your body.
So I'm kind of in, like, it would break down so many more walls if Hunter Schafer played a cis woman.
Yeah.
There would be nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Obviously, I am not a trans woman, but I think that was what Hunter Schafer was getting at.
Are we out of focus?
We were out of focus.
Huh?
I don't know if we're out of focus or if my eyes are just
Well,
blurry.
if you lean into it, it's gonna go out of focus because you're changing the focal length.
Right.
I'm sure we're fine. But yeah. So basically, Kate Connor was treated terribly.
Yeah.
And I'll, like, because he's one case of, like, quite a few cases where people have felt
Obligated.
pressured to come out like that. And by the way, in the plus of LGBTQ plus, one of those Qs stands for questioning, and that's okay as well. Like, it would have been okay if he was straight.
Yeah.
What matters is that he's playing this bisexual, well, honestly, for most of the show, this questioning character, because a big point of the show is he does start out with identifying as straight, and then obviously as the show goes on, he
meets
goes
his little small bean Charlie.
meets little small bean Charlie, and then he does, I think, in the second season, come to the terms with the fact that he's bisexual.
Yeah.
And
But
I think that needing the actor to identify in the way
that you want them to.
that, one, you want them to, and two, that the character does, it kind of takes away from the character's story
and the meaning of the show.
and the actor's story and the meaning of the show.
I'd say one thing that we do want to get into, because I am going to circle back to Ariana Grande in a second, but I've already said I would love to do a whole episode just about celebrities and idolizing them, and why it is
None of it's right.
so harmful to idolize another person, whether they're rich, whether they're a celebrity or not, because it's not worth it.
No.
And you put them on a pedestal, and it just kind of
unhealthy
ruins
for
everything.
everyone.
It really is.
It's horrible.
The
fact that we as a society still think it's okay
put them on a pedestal.
for people to be celebrities. Like, I feel like people haven't quite realized actually how weird it is. But that will be a whole other episode.
That will be a whole
because we
other-
have many opinions. In fact, that was actually one of the, like, midnight chats that we had once.
Oh, God,
wasn't
yeah.
it? That we were like, damn, dude, we should be recording this.
Probably a few times.
So,
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
I very much appreciate her music. I got into it with Sweetener. After that, I did not get to see any of her concerts because I kind of like dipped out mentally from Positions, but love Positions. Absolutely fucking love Eternal Sunshine. Her music means a lot to me. It's kind of everything to me. I don't have like favorite celebrities and stuff like that, but my favorite artist will probably always be Ariana Grande. It used to be Panic at the Disco when I was a kid in secondary. And I saw his concert for the one before Viva Las Vengeance, because that album is shit. I've not listened to it. I listened to 3 songs and I said, fuck that noise. And every time I see it, I kind of get the ick. But yeah, I love her music. Would love to see her live. And I'd say she's kind of maybe a big part of me, if you will. My personality, my taste. Love a pop girly. Like, I'd say one thing that really does defy me is I really just love all things feminine.
You do.
I like to present as masculine, even though like
Plus a wig.
fag, but
You are masculine plus a wig and heels.
plus a wig and heels. I mean, I have like heels up there. Spooky Cruise over here. Spooky Cruise over here is wearing a wig. I have a full doll collection. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but I love just feminine things, hair, the makeup, the fashion of it.
I'd say it's less feminine things. It's more girly pop things.
Oh.
You like girly pop things.
I love girly pop
Like
things.
you're kind of in the realm of feminine things and embracing feminine things that like 9-year-old girls are.
Yes.
Like what you have the same energy as like someone's 6-year-old daughter like is stealing their lipstick and putting it on for the first time and being like, mummy, look at me. Like that's you and I'm the mummy.
But it's because of the repression I had as a child. I wasn't allowed those things. And now I embrace it as an adult because I have my own money and my own space to be able to pursue those interests I never got to as a child. I don't want Hot Wheels. I don't want a warship to take into my bath. My dad took me into a Toys R Us when it was still kicking, and I waltzed in and we walked to the fucking...
R.I.P. Toys R Us.
Rest in peace, Toys R Us. But I remember the last time I went into it, they didn't have much. And then we went into Smith's and we were like, yeah, this is the banger.
To be fair, Toys R Us was dying for a long time. R.I.P.
But we walked into the wrestling section and my dad was like, oh, what do you want to like pick two out? I was like, okay, work. And then I picked a guy because I had to. And then I picked a girl. Her name was Maria.
Also, taking your son that you probably are suspicious about being gay into the wrestling section filled with basically naked men saying like, take your pick.
And I never found
what
him
do you
hot.
think you're doing?
I just only wanted the girls. Every time I went to a friend's house, I was like, girl, let's play with the dolls. And they're like, I want to play something else. And I'm like,
We're gonna play with your dolls.
It is so funny that you think for a second that I'm going to play with anything else but your Barbie, Monster High, Ever After High, like your doll collection. You may as well just give it to me. Because after a while, they were like, oh, I'm kind of bored of playing this. And I'm like, I'm not. Let me take them home. And they're like, no, they're mine. I'm like, well, then we keep playing with them. Give me my fill. Give me my fill.
I was gonna say you've got a I mean Monster High is your main one.
Oh my god.
That was about to be my next point.
My top dog.
Like,
do you know what? We'll circle back into the introduction. So we've gone over Ari. Take the floor.
So we've gone over Ariana Grande. You do have some other girlies on the go, but really it's Ariana Grande. You love an indie person.
Oh god, yeah.
You love like a guy with a guitar and like some big
folk
eyebrows.
music.
Yeah, in like indie folk music.
The expression you are.
And to be fair, those are kind of your two main vibes when it comes to music.
Like very like chill indie folk and then just pop girlies.
Yeah.
I've very much gotten into his taste of music when it comes to pop girlies now, like fucking like Charlie XCX and such. I'm like, yeah, bitch, get it.
Yeah, I don't like many pop girlies, but I like a hyper pop girly, and we do both like Charlie, and the lesser known Jockstrap.
Oh,
We love Jockstrap.
I also love a Jockstrap.
They've released like 4 songs,
yeah,
but they are all fantastic. Go listen to the
50-50.
The extended mix of 50-50 by Jockstrap right now.
And Greatest Hits, that's a pretty song.
And pretty much any Bjork song.
What Crown on the Ground, what are they called?
Oh, you're talking about Sleigh Bells.
Sleigh Bells, yeah.
Spelt in the Christmas way.
The only way that I'd like mine and Brett's music has kind of intertwined is only to do with pop, because I will not listen to his ambient, he will not listen to my folk, but I've subverted him into like radio pop and like indie pop, and then he submerged me into his like
really
like intense,
regrettably 100 Gexy vibe.
Oh, love 100 Gex.
Love 100
Shit
Gex.
tickles my brain. $1 million.
But
fuck you.
But yeah, you are on board with that vibe. Like when we're in the car, it's usually something along that vibe.
Oh yeah.
because we've got
Like 3 playlists on
Yeah.
the go. Me and Bro on the go.
Me and
Me
Bro
and Bro on
go.
the down low, and then Girly Pop Bops.
but also me and the bro on the go R.A.P. OG, which was the first one that we did. I don't know what happened to it. It just got to a point where it just stopped working, and we just needed to start afresh.
Yeah. And I was getting sick of so many songs on there. I was like, we just need to do it again.
I think I added too many.
No, me bitch. No, I just added songs that I already was getting sick of.
Oh, okay.
They were at the end of their lifespan, and I still added them.
Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, music-wise, Ariana Grande really is the one for you. I'm literally drawing a blank in terms of like any other sort of music for you.
Musicals. Love a musical.
You do love a musical.
Oh. Or
But not really as much though. Like if you do like a musical, you will like it for a month and then never talk about it again. And it doesn't happen very often. It happened with Ride the Cyclone.
that was like,
which to be fair,
near enough like 8 months.
that genuinely is an underground thing that you are interested in, and it is worth looking into. It's a very interesting musical if you're into it.
So good.
To be fair, that can be a whole other episode as well.
What, musicals or just Jane Doe's performance?
Honestly, probably just Jane Doe's performance. If I'm ever not in an episode, you just talk about Ride the Cyclone.
The way she spun upside down and kept that breath control on that
Yeah.
high note. What the fuck? Emily Rome, I'm in love with you. You specifically.
You did good, gal. So another big part of you are Out of Frame, the 200,000 Monster High dolls that stand strong in our room.
Yeah.
What is it about Monster High that really got you by the balls and has literally never let go?
Oh, okay. That's actually a really good question.
Because I know that there are lots of stories about you playing with other people's Monster High dolls when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I know that there is a lot of because if you think about it, the vast majority of people that have Monster High dolls are people like you.
Yeah.
They're adults that collect them. It's never like there are entire communities on TikTok and Instagram of people getting Monster High dolls. I mean, to be fair, most of the ones that I see are people revamping them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. But I think doll resculpting
And repaints
Instagram
and
is
stuff.
like is like a whole thing on its
Huge
own.
market.
And what I will say is that all of them are really talented, insanely talented. I can't name any names
Hexgen?
because
I just want to say Hexgen is phenomenal. There's like a lot of other names. I love My Froggy Stuff. Anyone who's listening to this will watch My Froggy Stuff. You are my person. Tonya, I adore you more than anything in this entire world. But yeah, I'd say when I was a kid, and I always was interested in just like feminine girly pop things. Like when I was a kid and we'd be playing, I'd always play the girl. I'd put a little towel on my head. That had like a little hood on it, and I'd be like, yeah, this is my hair. And always wanted the wigs and like the dresses that my sisters had. I just want to throw out there that there is a conspiracy theory by my friends that one day I will come out as trans. And honestly, I'm kind of on the back boat about it. But we'll see. We'll see.
You like
Stay
being
tuned.
masculine too much.
No, I think the thing is...
I feel like your friends thinking that is like a
microaggression?
First of all, it kind of is a microaggression. But second of all, it's kind of oh?
Movie recording has been stopped automatically.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god!
I mean, to be fair, I look at that camera a lot, so it's only just done it. It stopped! And now we're back.
I'm gonna to be fair, we've recorded all of this in one day, and my camera hasn't been used in about 6 months.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit tired, or I might just not fully understand the settings on it, which is really sad because I have a film degree.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, I think that all of your friends thinking that you were that you were trans just for liking feminine things. First of all, it shows a very limited view of what being a woman is. Second of all, it shows like a bit more of a diagnostic issue in terms of the binary that we treat everything with.
I think it's more so the fact that anytime we go out or anytime I have done a cosplay or attempted drag, I get this really strong boost of confidence.
You do.
And anytime I'll be like...
most people get into. That's why
Yeah.
people do drag.
And a lot of the time I'll be like, I really just wish I was a woman. And then they're like...
Maybe you are.
Like, you're right. And I'm like, to be fair though, I think sometimes I play around with the idea of gender fluidity. Because sometimes I'm like, I'm a man, I feel comfortable as a man. But then on other days I'm like, I just really feel like a woman today.
I know what you mean. Well, I have a bit of a complicated relationship with gender in general.
I feel like everyone does.
I feel like everyone has a more complicated relationship with gender in general than they talk about. I think that gender is something that you like these days. I think it's something you fucking have to struggle through.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone makes it so fucking difficult, like more difficult than ever for some reason. Like, let's not forget that in the 80s, Prince was one of the people in the world, and he was so thoroughly fluid in his gender.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculously so. And it was never questioned. Never once. Like, men wanted to be Prince, which is insane to me. Because
Bring back crop tops.
First of all, bring back crop tops.
Thank you.
Second of all, bring back like those tiny little shorts that they used to wear in the 80s. I'm interested in those coming back.
You just want to see a porn star that's sat in like a cabin,
Yeah.
and sometimes he dresses like that, and I'm not even joking. I'd be like,
But
like, come on, camp counselor.
but I think that a lot of people jump to the conclusion, because I think that being trans is beautiful. I think it's wonderful, and I think that, and every trans person that I've met has been, first of all, I live in an area that's very, very trans friendly, and well, as trans friendly as anywhere in Britain is right now.
A man is a man and a woman is a woman. Shut the
No, I
fuck
know.
up.
Thank you for that, J.K. Rowling.
Rishi
But
Sunak, bestie.
and well, no, I just mean J.K. Rowling in general. She paved the way for him. Let's face it. So, but I do think that the kind of the moral panic, quote unquote, surrounding trans issues now, and I'm nowhere near the first person to say it, but it's very, very similar to what gay people went through in the 80s. If you look at what happened to gay people in the 80s with regards to our inclusion in education, with regards to our access to healthcare, especially with like the AIDS epidemic and everything like that, it's basically the same thing that's happening now in terms of trans healthcare, except for trans individuals, you like for many of them, obviously not for all of them, the healthcare is a big element of it, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like you can be what we are and not have to have the confirmation of a doctor to say, oh yeah, he's definitely gay. Like, the fact that trans people
Oh my god, yeah.
have to have that,
I
introduces a whole extra level to it.
have a friend. I went to a youth group called Fruit Bowl. That is fucking funny.
It is very funny.
Fruit Bowl. Anyways.
Fruit bowl.
And they identify as a woman now. She's an absolute sweetheart. And basically, when she was telling me about how she was getting an estrogen and stuff, she was like, oh yeah, I had to wait like months to get into a clinic and basically for a doctor to tell me, yeah, I think you're trans. Like, who are you? Who are you to look someone dead in the eye and say, I think, personally, in my opinion, that I think you're trans? That's not your fucking place.
It's not. It's insane.
Why does
It's
another
insane.
person get to decide to tell me who I am? I know, you don't.
What's insane about it is that trans issues in particular have gone so incredibly backwards. I mean, there's an entire community in India of trans people. There's trans people in India are their whole own thing. I can't remember what they're called, but I read something about Dev Patel talking about it for his new movie the other day, and they're so thoroughly respected in India, and in
I didn't know that.
yeah, they are. I think they're the Haraj. I'm putting my hands up and saying I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly. I only read it in passing. But I think they are. It's something that I want to look into more because it seemed really interesting. But in Thailand, things are incredibly fluid in Thailand. I don't know about the political situation in Thailand.
Those kids with their fashion with the leaves and shit.
But yeah, wow. and like in ancient Egypt, there are documented cases. Well, as documented as they can be in ancient Egypt, of people probably being born one gender and living their lives as a different gender, or there's cases of it in Victorian England. Like when did we start caring?
Straight people.
When did we start caring about it? And it's just an insane thing to me, because do I understand what it's like to be trans?
No.
I am not a trans person. However, there is nothing stopping me from meeting a trans person and respecting it.
Respect it. Do your research. Don't
the
expect them to
bare
teach
minimum.
you.
It's the bare minimum. And because the reality is, the trans people that I've met, they're very often very proud of their transness, which they should be, because it's a fucking journey, dude. But they're not just trans.
Yeah.
Just like
Hunter Schafer.
like Hunter Schafer, and other actresses like Hunter Schafer,
Dylan Mulvaney.
Dylan Mulvaney.
That in itself is just a whole other
First of
fucking
all,
thing.
Gorgeous
I do love Dylan Mulvaney.
woman.
Let me be your woman.
She's gorgeous.
How did we go from talking about Monster High dolls to this?
Because we were talking about femininity.
Oh, we were.
We were talking about femininity. And we will get back to that in a second. But I'm not saying that I hope you're not trans. I wouldn't care if you were trans. I would love you either way. But I think that when men like feminine things, it can be very easy to jump to that conclusion, because people don't really know what other conclusion to jump to, when in reality there isn't really a conclusion.
I think, for me personally, I just really hate being confused.
I know you do.
When I was coming to terms
You don't like an
with
unanswered question, do you?
unanswered questions, meet me outside. But when I was coming to terms with being gay, all I felt was a state of confusion, and then that just turned into embarrassment and anger. So when there's people around me kind of just being like, you're really fucking different and this is weird, can you tone it down, can you not do this? Or when I was in my own back garden.
By the way, the microaggressions, can you tone it down?
Tone what down?
Tone what down?
I'm looking at my family for this one.
And also no.
When I talk, this is how I talk, this is how I am.
Sorry.
And bitch. And then I'll have a family member, I'm not naming names, will kind of turn around and say why are you saying it like that, talk normally. And it's why do I have to change who I am and how I talk and how I move? Because I'll be stop acting gay, and I'm acting?
What does that mean? What does that actually
just because
mean?
you've got one narrative of what a gay person is in your head, it's fucking ridiculous. But I don't like being confused. So when it comes to a point where people hold your fucking horse, I would say your turn, but it's not. It's my turn. It's mine.
Carry on.
When people you say what you were going to say, then I'll say what I was going to say. That's exactly what would have happened. is when people are like saying to me like, you're very, very different, and I've not met another person like me. Like, there are some online, but they've got like quite big followings, and I'm just not friends with them.
No, you're a very particular cocktail.
Yeah.
And I've never met anyone like you. I mean, obviously, but
Good riddance. Insufferable.
but to be fair, mostly by that I mean I've never met a northern person.
Oh yeah, I'm from Sheffield.
And also you
City of Steel.
also you saying that your family were telling you to talk normally. You're all northern. None of you talk normally.
Nah, because when I've come down here, I'm
What
not
the
even
fuck
joking.
is a bread cake?
It's called a fucking bread cake. I'm not
Roll.
even arguing about this. Like, get fucked. Too knackered for that. Get fucked. Anyways, like when people are coming to me and saying like, you are a different kind of cocktail and you're different and we've not had someone like you before, like, are you sure you're not trans? Or like when my sister said to me once, they were like, well, like, I just want to let you know that if you like actually are trans, like really think about it before you get the surgery. And it's like, that's already a different thing in itself. That I'm not going to get into because again, that's a different conversation and we're already taking up a lot of time. But these people that are like saying this to me, it kind of like, it gets in my head, and maybe this kind of comes back to that whole like microaggressions and gender fluidity of just like, I am me, I identify as a man, I just really, really like feminine things. And when people are saying to me like, oh,
Which is fine.
you are trans, or you are this, or you are that, it kind of sticks in my head, and I have to sit and think, well, am I? And I remember having a full-on breakdown about it with the guy that I dated before you. And he was like, I just want to let you know that I dated someone who was questioning their gender, and it is like, it's a lot, and I can't handle that kind of thing right now. So I just want to know, like, if you are dealing with that, like, I'm here for you, but just dating really wouldn't be on our scale, which was a very mature thing to say. I think.
To be fair, that is.
And I just started crying because I was like, I don't know. Like, people keep saying it to me, but I don't know myself, and it's stressing me out. So I'm
like
just a guy who's feminine. Bada bing, bada boom, I like dolls.
And he likes Monster High dolls.
And it's not like a weird child perversion thing.
It's not.
It's just, I
just
love the
like 'em.
fashion. It's a nostalgic thing for me. Old men get to play with trains. It's a train, it's a transportation device, and I hate getting on them, and they're expensive. I just like these characters that were from my childhood that gave me comfort and dress like gorgeously. Yes, they look way too underweight for their ages, but also they're fashion dolls. And why? It's a Yeti. I have a doll that's a Yeti.
And also, the whole them being too skinny thing. It's an issue. Hello.
Hey.
It's an issue in itself, and it's an issue that, to be fair, the vast majority of Monster High fans do have an issue with. Like, I think a lot of them, especially the more mature ones, they do have an issue with the fact that there isn't a lot of diversity among like body types
Until G3.
And do you
want to know what's funny about that? In G3, you've got Draculaura and you've got Cat Noir. In G1, because there's 3 generations, we don't talk about the second generation. Fuck that generation, it's terrible. If you like it, get fucked.
Don't talk about Generation 2.
Don't talk about Generation 2. Anyways, in Generation 3, Draculaura is still short like she was in the original, but she's a bit thicker. And then Cat Noir, she was like this skinny superstar, if you will.
She was one of the skinnier ones.
Yeah, and now you've got Cat Noir coming back, but she's a bigger girl. And she's a black cat, and now I believe she's voiced by a black... She is! She's voiced by, what's her name? Mercedes from Glee.
Amber Riley. She's
voiced by Amber Riley. So first off, that's going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But it's the representation for different girls, like what Barbie's doing with like disabilities and like different body types, and it's just.
And there are those Barbies. I don't know whether or not they've done multiples of them now.
Made to move our fashionistas.
But they released a Barbie with Down syndrome.
Yes.
And it's not a case of like these companies have never really said, oh, this is the one way to be. And I think Monster High in particular, even though the body types thing has been an issue, what's never been an issue was like embracing what and who you are.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the main thing.
I'd say the people that made
I'm-
Monster High,
yeah.
Garrett Sanders, I Am in Love with You, and the people that were the backbone of it, they were doing a phenomenal job. And the people that are on the outskirts, because Mattel is obviously a company that has the biggest like pay holders or something, they get to control it. Shareholders, which is ridiculous because first off, like circling back to diversity a little bit, it's amazing that they've got it back, and people were just constantly preaching about how skinny they were and how like slutty they were. But then we finally come into another generation where it's for a new set of kids and it's a new set of rules to pander to these kids, and it's got more childlike fashion and not as high heels. And first off, for me, I'm really sad about it because give me some fucking cunt. But second off, you've got these body types and these like actual teenagers that feel like teenagers, and then when we've got these different body types in, all of a sudden people are like switching their tune and saying Dracula is fat, Cat Noir's fat, like why are they acting like this? Like, no, you need to give these kids like something to grasp onto, to look at it and to say like genuinely, this is what I am. I can identify with this.
It's also crazy to look at like Dracula is, for example. I just want to say I had never heard of Monster High before I met him, so I am nowhere near as versed,
Cultured.
as cultured. But what's crazy to me is, yes, the new Dracula was a bigger girl, but she wasn't what I would call fat. Not that there wouldn't be anything wrong with her being what one would call fat, or or what a fat person would call fat. There's nothing wrong with that. But to look at an honestly normal body,
I was literally going to say like
a normal fucking
I wouldn't
body,
even call her a bigger
and
girl.
to call her fat is crazy.
Like,
she looks like pretty much any woman.
like she's not fat. She's not a bigger girl, even though I know I've literally
She
just been
looks like
saying
she
that.
has some circulation.
She just has a body. Like
She just has a body.
like it's just, I don't know, it's just insane to me because what Monster High has always been about and what always kind of stuck with me, and like even for now, seeing Mattel do a Barbie advert where a little boy was playing with a doll,
It's
that
nice.
absolutely fucking blew my. I needed that. I needed that so much, and I didn't have that, and now I finally get that, and it's fucking beautiful. And obviously there's going to be these people that are like, drag queens are pedophiles and kids playing with dolls is wrong. Shut the fuck up. You are a person, I'm a person, we're two completely different people. You don't have to like what I like, but I don't care for football. I don't care for your fucking man cave because it's weird and it's fucking gross. Let me have my like little childhood fantasy that I always wanted, because all they do is sit on my shelf and I look at them and I remember a time where I was happy and I was innocent and I got to have these things that just genuinely brought joy to me, that was stripped away from me by my parents because they told me, oh, people are going to bully you. But it wasn't because people were going to bully me, because I was still playing with them in the schoolyard and in their houses. You were scared of it. You were scared of what other people's reactions were going to be. And it was ridiculous. And even then I knew what it was, but I couldn't argue with them. And to now be able to have my own adult money and buy my own things and be able to say, I have this. This is mine. This is something that is so deeply ingrained and special to me. And to do a full fucking circle back to the first question that you asked, why do I like them? Is because all my friends had them and I had a connection to them, because the message was, be yourself, be unique, be a monster. You are different. You are different. Embrace it. And even the movies, like as tacky and cheesy as they were, I fucking loved them. And every single one of them was predominantly about like fucking woman power and like right on, dude. But it was genuinely about like embracing diversities and different cultures, and fair enough, sometimes they got them wrong, but that's white people. But it was just about so many different things being brought together. And in the new generation, it's about like Dracula is Taiwanese and she's a fucking vampire and she does magic and it's not allowed, but she still embraces it. And she says, this isn't dangerous. This isn't scary. This is something different and you need to embrace it and you need to accept it. And that's what's always drawn me into it, is the fact that I do not feel like I fit in with any other gay person I know. I don't feel like I fit in with anybody that I know, but I found someone that understands and accepts it. So to have something that I can genuinely confide in and say, even though I'm still not finding my box that I can put myself in, it's still like a home for me. So that's just kind of dolls for me. And also they're pretty and they look really nice and I just love fashion. and I really want to watch Devil Wears Prada again. But yeah, that was like a really big passionate rant just then.
I loved every second. I loved
Aw.
every second of that. That was lovely.
Thank you.
You should go on your soapbox more often, dude.
Really, just bring up dolls more
You
often
look
in my
good from
childhood.
down here. But basically, those are two very big things about you. Clearly, two very big things about you. And you've also learned something from both of us, is that we're rather passionate about trans issues. Well, trans people. I'm not going to say that we're passionate about trans issues, because that makes it sound like we're on the opposite side of the spectrum that we actually are on, doesn't it?
But in essence, we
We
really
love
do
trans
care for
people.
trans things. Like anything to do with the gay community, as everyone fucking should. When it comes to trans people, when it comes to lesbians, when it comes to gay men, when people are like, oh, you don't have rights, or we went to Sheffield and. Oh god, I'm shaking. I'm talking that much. I'm passionate.
You've got those.
We got on a tram and there was this guy that was like, he like looked at Brett and he was like, can you move your bag please? And I was like, oh sorry, I didn't hear you. And he just went, can you move your bag? And like went like that. And I'm like, oh Brett, just move your bag so you can sit
First of
down.
all, there were seats on the fucking bus, dude.
It was a tram, but yeah, there were seats. There were seats. And he ended up moving anyways, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, he did.
So me and Brett are just holding hands looking out the window and he looks at me and he goes, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. And I went, sorry, I didn't, like, what was that? And he went, you shouldn't be doing that. And I was like, doing what? Instantly my tone, like, switched.
Yeah, he said that we shouldn't be doing it in public.
And, oh, God, I went off. I was like, what the
And
fuck are you on about?
I will admit, I froze.
He froze, but I was on
Because
it.
I'm very lucky that I've grown up in an area where that's never really happened.
It's never been a
dude.
problem.
And so before I met you, the people that I did date, I was able to walk around and hold their hand and not really worry about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were issues. I mean, I think the worst things that happened were probably on nights out with like drunk straight guys taking the piss.
Yeah.
But like I said, really lucky. It's not happened that much. So I was sat there like.
Yeah.
And to be fair, everyone else on the tram was as well. And like everyone was looking at this guy like, the fuck are you doing?
Like, I'm not going to say that I ate him up, because when it comes to witty comebacks, that is not my strong suit. But
That's
after
why I
a
wish
while,
I didn't freeze up.
Yeah. But after a while, he just started looking at me and going,
Yeah, he did.
And it was
he
like,
lost it.
what the fuck are you even saying anymore? Like, you're just going to make fun of the way I talk? It's the way that I fucking talk. I'm still from Sheffield. I still have a northern accent.
Also, I don't know whether or not it's
And he had a bob. He had an ugly little bob.
He did have
Why
an
do
ugly
you, as a
bob.
homophobic old man, have long hair? That's for girls.
I also, one thing that struck me about that situation was I think the minute he realized that pretty much everyone on the tram was
Everyone.
looking at him, not us, they were looking at him. And I think when people realize all of a sudden that actually they're the villain in the situation, they just kind of fall into this like really, really low IQ behavior where they're just grasping at straws to get some sort of upper ground, and they just can't. And he was an example of there's no way, dude. There's no way. Thankfully, our stop was soon after that. So we did get off, but he was.
It doesn't stop us from having more instances. Like, we've had
those kids filming us.
Yeah, we had and taking pictures of us. We've had people behind us in a shopping centre just yell shit at us, and I turned my ass straight around and they walked into a shop that was not for them.
Yeah.
It was a fucking jeweller's and there was like 13. It's like, what are you buying? Go to Pandora and buy that tacky tiara ring. Like, anyways, but I don't know, like, when it comes to like gay issues and stuff like that, it's especially, I feel like me especially, because I've had to deal with so much. We've had to deal with so much, but with me being in the area that I was in the school that I was in, I feel like I kind of got a bit of a fucking head start.
You definitely had a rougher time than I did.
And but it's not a competition. I do just want to throw that out.
It's not. It's just a flat out. You had more incidents than I did.
And for like a minute ago saying that, I just don't feel like I'm in the place that I should be in. I don't know people that are much like me. I have people that are similar and we get along with my friends as anyone fucking would. But to find someone that I can genuinely look at and say, you are just like me, and I can find into you so much like that. Obviously, boyfriend, different fucking case. But when it comes to like gay issues and seeing what people are saying online and what my parents say, and when they're like, oh, I think I know more about gay people than you do. And it's like, you have one gay friend that you don't talk to. I am a gay man. I am a gay man. He is a gay man. We know more. We follow people. We know people. We know their stories. We have people that are ace. We know people that are trans, and so forth and so forth. So you don't get to turn to me and say that we don't care or we don't know as much, because we fucking do. And the thing is, maybe we don't know everything, but we do our fucking research and we listen and we learn because we want to and because we fucking care. I don't care about many issues, but the people in this community, as toxic and fucking horrible as it can be, I still care. You can literally come up to me and be like, you're a fucking faggot and you're less than me as a gay man. I don't care. I still want to make sure that you get to go to bed at night feeling safe and going out into the street and being able to hold your partner's hand, because he didn't have that. And I was scared to do it, but I still fucking held his hand in public and still said, this is my boyfriend and I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm all bark and no bite and he will fight the fucking fight. But I just don't want to be ashamed. And I will kind of do anything in my power to do that. And his niece today, even though we're kind of hitting an hour now, I don't give a fuck. We're on a good topic. When I was in secondary, I got sexually assaulted by one of like the chavvier like popular kids, and
he groped you, didn't he?
He did, and it was basically my best friend at the time. Fucking cunt, we're not friends anymore. And she basically walked up to him. I had no idea who this boy was, because we had 3 different levels of like, obviously need a lot of help, average student, smart arses. And he was in the smart arse, so I didn't fucking know him. And she was like, oh, another crush on you. So he comes up to me and he's like, hey baby, fucking tussles my hair, sits on my lap. And I was like, what the fuck? And after that, it was just constant, like back to back, just him and all of his friends being like, come here baby, come fucking like sit on my lap. And then one day, I was sat on a bench, and I was sat with my friend, who is sadly no longer my friend, but that was a whole other fucking ballpark. And he basically was like, oh yeah, I'll grab you. And I was like, I'd like to see you fucking try. And he just fully just grabbed my dick. And then he like stood up, and then we were all, like, all 3 of us were just sat like, what? And then he did it a second time in front of his friends, and they caught him, and I was like, Brad, stop that, that's fucking gay. But obviously, for me, even though they were saying that, they were in full support of me. Like, the chavvy kids that were friends with me, this one time, I held a door open for one of them. No, sorry, one of them held a door open for me, and I was like, oh, thank you. And then one of them mocked me and was like, oh, thank you. And then this guy called Brad turned around and was like, don't fucking say that to Owen. Don't make fun of him. And I was like, yes, Brad, go on, lad. And after a while, this girl came up to me, and she was in his group, and she was like, I don't fucking like him. Like, he gropes people in classes. He constantly sends unsolicited dick pics. Like, he's a horrible...
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Were you out?
Yeah.
You were out?
Yeah, I was like one of the 3 out kids.
So you were like, what, like 14, 15?
15 going on 16.
15 going on 16, okay.
So we're in year 11 at this point when this
Not that
started
makes
happening.
it better, I was just wondering.
You're at an age where you should know better. And he was like, oh my God, I'm like a gay ally. And it's like, but you're assaulting me. You're assaulting me and personally picking me out in public to make a comment. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh yeah, he kissed this guy at a party, which I learned from someone else. And she was like, do you think he's gay? And I was like, I'm going to be honest, I think he might be bi at least, but it's not really my place to say. Like, it's his own journey. But the thing is, he's kissing guys at parties and he's groping my dick. So maybe.
Also, it's like... It's crazy to think, oh yeah, he might be bi. He has no issue assaulting everyone. Like,
just that.
Just that.
And then basically he came up to me, and he didn't really talk to me after that. And he came up to me and he was like, do you think I'm gay? And I was like, I don't know. And he went, I'm not gay, I fuck pussy, I like pussy. And he like came right up in my face and said it in the middle of nowhere, and then just stormed off. And all I could think,
like you're gay.
And I just stopped for a moment, and it was like, if you took that much time and energy out of your day to come up to me and say, I like pussy, I fuck pussy, I'm not gay, you're obviously covering for something. You are doing too fucking
You're
much.
going through something,
And
dude.
the thing is, it's like the guy
Not
that
that's an
created
excuse.
conversion therapy, he was gay and got caught out for being gay. And people that were trying to ban gay rights found out to be gay. It's like, you're doing too much, you're overcompensating. And the thing is,
It's a lot of shame.
And if you ever come out as gay, nobody will accept you. Just
because
keep it fucking quiet.
You've already like ostracized everyone.
But, anyways,
So things about Owen.
Oh, wait. I'm going to get this out and then you can totally run
Okay.
back. So, his niece, she's what, 13,
yeah.
14?
She's 12, 13.
12, 13. I walked downstairs.
She's in
and
like
she was
year
like,
8.
I'm going to tell you the tea. And I was like, oh my God, work. And I love a children drama. It's my favourite fucking thing.
And plus, we just in general, we have a great relationship with my nieces.
Yeah.
They are 2 wonderful, wonderful young girls. And
Mother amazing.
yes, yeah.
Oh, come on,
my
Mother
sister-
amazing.
Oh, fuck off.
She's so Mother.
No, my sister is an insanely wonderful person.
Both of
and
them.
Yes, yeah, they both are.
I just want to say, his family is beautiful. Like, I come from a bit of like a broken family, whatever. Like, whoa, it's me. But me coming here, I was scared of intermingling with like a good family.
Yeah, I come from like the entire opposite of a broken family. Like, we're quite small. Like, but
They care about each other so much.
I was pretty much the only kid in high school whose parents weren't divorced. And I like my parents are like a sickeningly lovely love story.
Oh God, yeah.
They've been together since they were like 13, and they are just. I mean, you've seen the way that they are around each other. Those 2
Adorable.
are in love.
Like, they were made for each other.
They
It's
were,
fucking ridiculous.
and they were a really good example to me of a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So me and like pretty much as a parent can get right, my parents got right, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. Like all parents, like, they make mistakes. Parenting's fucking hard.
Yeah.
But in terms of the mistakes that a lot of parents do make, my parents did not make those mistakes. And like usually if my parents did something, it was an honest mistake that they probably inherited from their parents.
And they have been
like
called out
most.
of it.
Yeah, and if they did do something, and me or one of my sisters were like, hey, just so you know, when you did this, it didn't quite sit right, or for whatever.
And they apologise. Imagine that.
And they apologise.
And I know
they
you guys are from broken
listen,
families too.
and they understand. And I'm incredibly lucky to have the family that I do have. And I think you've really
blossomed from it.
benefited from being
So
embraced by
much.
this environment.
And it's
in
scary.
general.
It's really scary.
It's hard to get used to.
It is, because, I mean, I dyed my hair once, and it was green. Can you imagine?
Bright green.
And
You did it for a while.
I
The whole
did.
green thing.
I stained the bath mat, and I was terrified that I was going to get pulled aside, yelled at, and his mum was just like, it's fine, we'll just get another one. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Have a strop for the rest of the day. Let me walk on eggshells. What are you on about?
Well, no, the thing is with my parents is if, say for example, you did something and it was an honest mistake, they would treat it as such.
They have.
I think a lot of parents, when their kids make what anyone would be able to see as an honest mistake, they look at it as if it's some like elaborate scheme to do something bad.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of parents expect the worst in their kids, and they don't give them the respect that they deserve.
And yet they want a mini-me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, they're doing bad things.
Exactly.
It is a mini you as a child. Where do you think they fucking get it from?
It's crazy to me. That being said, obviously I'm not a parent.
I am.
I do think that if I was born a woman, I'd have like 6 kids by now,
Yeah.
because
Adore children.
I adore children.
And he's so good with them.
And I love the kind of, I love the perspective that children have. And I think it's a perspective that adults can learn a lot from. I think the idea that I love so much about being around children and like helping children grow up is actually learning from them.
Yeah.
Because if you actually just sit and listen to a child and how they talk, it's filled with so much wonder and so much curiosity,
innocence.
and I like, a lot of people think that it's naivete.
Yeah.
And to be fair, some of it is they haven't learned about some of the rough stuff that's going on around them. But I mean, I think that to find joy in simple things like children do is something that could make anyone live a nicer, happier life. And I've learned that a lot from my nieces. I've learned it a lot from them. But carry on. What you were saying.
Go down. She's like, you might want to blurt that name out, Bester.
Yeah, I will.
So she's like, I'm going to tell you the tea. And she was like, so there's this kid in my drama class. And she was telling me about her drama class. I was like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but work. And she's like, he's definitely gay. But like, she's also bi. So like, go her. To have the confidence and comfort to be able to turn to us and be like, I'm bisexual. It's like,
at like 12.
And also, she watches Heartstopper. So circling back to that as well,
it's powerful.
It's so good.
It's powerful.
Thank you, Alice Oseman.
And I think it's also a testament to the kind of environment my family is.
Yeah, incredibly understanding.
Because I mean, first of all, she's grown up with me around, so there has been a gay person present for all of her life.
Yeah,
and also. Both of my sisters, to be honest, are queer to a degree. Like, one of my sisters is openly bisexual, and the other is somewhere. I don't know if she knows where she is, but that like relationship with sexuality and with orientation has always been very, very open conversation, and I think that those examples matter when your child happens to be bisexual, and even when they happen to not.
Yeah,
like even just to be like, people are like this, it's normal, don't worry about it, and then they'll be like, sure, cool,
work, and that's it. That is it.
That's
all you gotta
it.
do.
That's all it is.
But yeah, she was like, these are the drama classes that we're in, and we have this one gay kid, and then it's been happening for a couple of weeks, and these straight kids came over and like did exactly like to a T what this guy did to me, and that's so funny.
It's okay, just carry on.
We'll carry on. Sorry guys, no.
If you're watching this as a video, I apologize.
We'll put some like cute photos up or something.
Yeah, we will.
And basically, she said to me like, oh, they'd come up and like sit on his lap and call him baby, like how's my baby and stuff like that. And then she turns around, shoves him on the floor from beside him, and basically says, like, if you're going to stop messing with him, you're going to start messing with me.
And no one messes with her.
And nobody does. And she's
powerful.
I just said to her straight away, I was like...
I wouldn't mess with her.
I was like, look, this happened to me as a kid, and I didn't have somebody like you around. And I don't think you understand how meaningful that is, and I am so proud of you for it. And she was like,
yeah.
Oh, thank you. And I was like, oh, she's still not going to understand what that means, but later on, she will.
She will. And she absolutely will.
Just that example
she definitely
alone,
does to a degree. I don't think she understands how... I think she understands that it was the right thing to do. I don't think she quite understands, because she's 12, what it probably meant to that poor gay kid.
Yeah.
Because that gay kid's going to remember that for the rest of his life.
Oh, God, yeah.
For the rest of his life. Just like you were able to recount word for word what happened to you with that guy. That guy... It
sticks with you.
That guy is going to be able to... That then sets an expectation for him and his relationship with his other friends. That like, oh, that person stood up for me. Like, if something else happens, bless him, and his other friends don't,
I should expect that from them too.
You should expect it from them. So I think she understands that it was the right thing to do. I think that she's rightfully proud of herself for it.
Yeah.
But I think that somewhere down the line, she'll realize what a big deal it was to him, and also to the perpetrator.
Yeah.
Because someone else actively being like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's weird as hell. Is also a powerful thing for that guy in his, hopefully, journey to learn that that's not okay.
And she does not realize the power move she did.
No, it's such a power move.
Like, you think it's so small, but it's like, no, that is huge.
But it's kind of wonderful that she doesn't see it as a big deal.
Yeah. It's like, this is how it should be. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Because she keeps it simple, as kids do.
So I think that there's always something that we can learn from kids.
Yeah. But with that, we've kind of doubled the time that we said we would. And with all the passion, even though many questions weren't asked, I think you both, any of you, the two people listening, you got a very good insight into who we are, what we like, what this podcast probably is, and how many tangents we go off.
I think we've also learned what this podcast is.
Yeah. We've come up with a lot of topics.
Yes. Yeah, we've got a growing list of topics, and and it is going to be varied.
Buffy will be one.
Buffy will be a recurring sub character.
If you got the joke that we made like in the first episode, I'm pretty sure it was, then like fucking go you.
What was the joke?
Out for a walk. Bitch.
Oh.
But if you have gotten this far, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
We're definitely going to make more, and if this doesn't take off or if people don't listen, that's okay. This genuinely is just for fun. But yeah, I hope you have a good night or a good day or whatever the fuck you're doing. If you've been on your phone for too long, have a fucking break. It's okay to take a break. Take care of yourself, and thank you for sitting on our wet bench yet again for the third fucking time.
We're gonna go get a Chinese.
I'm so glad you actually agreed with me.
Yeah, we're gonna go get a Chinese.
I'm fucking hungry, dude.
I am also hungry.
That's all, lads. Thank you for stopping by. Dry your ass off because it's probably sopping wet now.
Soon.
See ya. Bye.